Welcome to Bariatric Expert, the podcast that delves deep into the world of bariatric surgery and nutrition. I'm your host, Sheri Burke, a registered holistic nutritionist with a specialization in bariatric nutrition. I've been working closely with bariatric clients since 2008, helping them navigate their journey towards a healthier and more fulfilling life. Whether you're considering bariatric surgery, have already undergone the procedure, or are simply interested in learning more about this transformative field, this podcast is for you. So hi, and today I'm thrilled to have with us Missy Ellingson Bowman. Missy underwent gastric sleeve surgery in March of 2020, and now she's nearly 3.5 years post-surgery. Hailing from North Dakota, but residing in Washington for over 2 decades, Missy is a passionate PE teacher and a true inspiration in our online exercise group support. Welcome, Missy.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here and share my story.
This is a really nice background. So right now you're in Washington, right?
Yes.
I can't keep track of you guys. But when you go on vacation, where do you go to? Because you're always camping.
We just went to Idaho. And then next week we are going to Oregon for a week and a half.
Oh, that's super cool. Good for you. And you're campers, right? Do you is an RV or how do you get about?
Yeah, it's like a trailer camper.
We used to do that.
Along with us.
That's great. We did that a few times. I think that probably your parents or your husband's parents used to do this when they were growing up, right?
Yeah, we did like tent camping growing up.
Right. So
after I had kids, I'm like, there is no tent left.
Yeah, that's it. Done. I actually tried sleeping outside a few weeks ago, and it was a terrible experience. It was terrible.
Really?
I was bitten by mosquitoes, and Eric's like, it's very different when you have a tent. But it was one of these nights. So it was really uncomfortable and gross. So
and out here it's so wet that a tent just doesn't.
Yeah, I know. And right now too, we're like, I don't know, we've had so many crazy storms lately. It's like constantly, the summer's been really, really weird. It hasn't been good at all. Yeah.
And it's been really hot here, which is odd.
Well, yeah, maybe that's global warming stuff is really happening.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
it's not fake news.
No, I grew up, one of my biggest fears is World War III and tornadoes. So this has been a really bad year for me. What the thing was, my fear growing up of tornadoes was unjustified because we don't have tornadoes in this part of the world until recently. Okay. Recently. Like all of a sudden.
I grew up with tornadoes.
No, that's right. Because you're from that region.
North Dakota is all about it. Yeah.
Oh, no, it terrifies me. Like when I'm living in the Caribbean and there's a hurricane, okay, I can deal with it because it's coming. You got time to prepare, worst case scenarios. But with the tornado?
Boom.
Right?
Yep.
Like we just had one here a couple of days ago, hail the size of baseballs, and it missed us by like 500 meters.
Oh my gosh.
It went right over us. You know what? Last year, we had a storm. We have microbursts too, right? So it's like a tornado, but it's very quick, passes by very quickly. My daughter got her car totaled with a tree.
Was that the tree one?
2 times, it happened twice in a row, 5 months apart. 2 different cars, 2 different trees.
Wow.
Right?
So crazy.
So yeah. So
now, do you guys have like basements and stuff for tornadoes? Because like our houses don't have basements.
Well, in Canada, we all have basements. But what I have right here at my place is a walkout basement. So I have a wall of windows still. But like the other day, Eric was like, get to the basement. So yeah, this is my fear. Tornadoes freak me out.
Yeah.
Do you guys?
My grandma and dad, we get them we aren't supposed to get them at all. In the last 2 years, we've had 2.
Yeah.
Because we're stuck between the 2 sets of mountains, so we shouldn't get them. But we do.
Stronger storms. Yeah. We've had a couple of years not very active hurricane-wise in the Caribbean, so I really worry about the end of the summer. But fingers crossed. I went through a hurricane in 2005 called Wilma when I was living in Cancun. The kids were really young. They were 3 and 5 years old. 3 and 5. And no running water for 3 weeks. The whole hotel zone was closed down. The roads were destroyed. It was like, and we couldn't get out. After the hurricane passed through, we were stuck there. We couldn't go anywhere because there were no roads, no airports. Anyways, enough of the shitty.
We take for granted all the good we have.
I know, right? I agree.
Yeah.
Our husband and I are looking at, we're going to be spending 5 months in Panama. And we're leaving on November 3rd. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. And so we started looking a little bit at other countries now. Like we started looking at Nicaragua. But hurricanes freak me out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And and they pass through there. So we started doing like a list of pros and cons. And well, maybe we'll do a trip there when we're there this winter.
See if you like it. Yep.
So we're delighted to have you here, Missy. So I'm going to dive into your journey a little bit. What led you to the decision to have gastric sleeve surgery and how your life has been for you since that transformative moment? How did this all get started for you?
I had a friend who had actually moved away to Alaska, and I saw her Facebook post, and she just looked amazing. So I reached out to her, and she connected me up with you, and I didn't really even have time to think. She's just like, I'm sending you to Sheri, and the ball just started rolling from there.
I love that.
Yeah. Yep. And it's ironic because when we taught together, we always joked and said we were sisters because we kind of had the same body frame and looked enough alike that people thought we were twins. And then she introduced me to you. So it was amazing.
That's great how friends and their decisions can pave the way for you and your decisions and your positive transformation life. Let's talk a little bit about where your weight was when you made the decision and where you are today.
Okay, so back in 2020, I was right around 280 to 285 pounds. And then I had surgery in March, right at the beginning of COVID, of course. And now I sit right around between 160 and 170-ish.
So what's the total weight loss?
In there.
What's the total weight loss?
Between 115 and 120 pounds.
That's a lot. You see, I've known you now for a couple of years, well, 3.5 years. And I'm looking at you right now, and this is how I know you. Like I never knew the other Missy. I only know this Missy.
Yep. It's amazing things like when your Facebook memories pop up, or even kids who come back to school and see me and they're like, well, where's Mrs. Bowen? I'm like, right here. So, and then I start talking, they're like, oh. So yeah, it's fun seeing all the old ones and how much it's transformed because you do forget.
Right. And how do your friends react to you now? Have you had any like of those skinny shamers come after you?
In the beginning, I definitely did. And it was always you're just too skinny. You're losing too much weight. And I keep telling them, like, you guys, 170 isn't skinny by any means. I just look really different than I did. And the one thing I have to remember is they all grew up with me that way. I was never the skinny kid. So I have to remember that in my head. They're not doing it to be mean to me. They want me to be healthy. The other thing with it is I really have to watch myself and not compare to others. A big eye-opener for me was when a friend who weighs significantly less than me, she shared some like hand-me-down clothes. I'm like, these are never going to fit me. And they fit. So I have to remember that my journey is my journey and everyone's different.
Absolutely. Comparison is the thief of joy. And I like to make a mention of that to newbies as well, because they're watching other people go through their bariatric journeys. They're at the same stage. They're losing, a pound a week. And, the person who had surgery in the same day, they're losing 4 and 5 pounds a day. And I always tell them, don't compare, because the person you're comparing yourself to might be of a different sex. It might be a male. It might be somebody who's a lot younger than you are. It might be somebody who's not going through menopause. It might be somebody who has PCOS. I mean, you don't know, and you can't compare. Yep. So I'm really happy that you brought that up. That's a really important point.
Yeah, that's like my theme song, I think. I can't compare myself to others because it just brings you down.
That's right. So along your journey, I'm sure you've had highs, you've had lows. Can you share some moments that have stood out for you and how you overcome any of those challenges that you were facing at that moment?
One of the challenges was really early on, because we all know how it's hard in the beginning. All you want to do is eat and you can't. But I got really sick in the beginning, and I ended up going to my local doctor, and I had what was called a stricture, and it's kind of just a twist in your stomach. And the surgeon here was like, this happens a lot. This has nothing to do with your surgery. It was a great surgery. It just happens. And they did an endoscope. They blew it up, and there's been no problem since then.
Oh, I'm so happy you mentioned that as well, because I'm just thinking, I remember going back to, I guess you couldn't eat and you couldn't drink. Things were getting stuck, right?
Yeah, and I was throwing up all day and all night.
Right. So that's really important, because if people are having this issue, I mean, if they don't do anything about it with a lot of time, the issue can resolve itself. But the reality is, it's a really easy fix. You visit your doctor and you have, the endoscopic procedure. Funny enough, Dr. Rabinen's wife, when she had gastric sleeve surgery, she also had a stricture. I remember.
Yep. And he said it's really normal to happen. It's just how some bodies heal.
Sometimes it can be scar tissue. It's the scar tissue that forms, right? And as soon as they did that procedure and the endoscopic procedure to repair the stricture or to open the stricture, did you feel better immediately?
Immediately. Like that day I got home and I could eat, where I couldn't keep anything, liquid, anything down before. I got home and like at the thing they offered me some Jello, and I'm like, I can't eat Jello. And they're like, no, you can. And I did. And I'm like, best Jello I've ever ate.
Wow. Because that's really important. Did you find that you lost a lot of hair when you were losing weight?
I did in the beginning. And I sometimes wonder how much it did have to do with that stricture, because I was sick for a good month. So that meant I wasn't getting any nutrition down. But my suggestion to anyone who loses hair is cut it. It grows back.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, I agree. It's a period of time. That's it.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, all those baby hairs will be coming in, and you're ecstatic about baby hairs.
Right. Between 7 and 9 months post-op, the hairs start to grow again. Right.
Yep.
So I want to talk a little bit about your dedication to your diet and exercise, because it's really, really commendable. How is your current diet, and how do you maintain that commitment to healthy eating? Because I see you, I know that, nobody's perfect. You have your cheats, but I see that you, in general, you have a really good diet. Tell us about it.
I really try to stick to high protein, low carb, and I try to do the healthy carbs. I don't do the keto. And I don't know if that's an old school fat is bad, because fat isn't bad. There are good fats, but it just seems like too much fat in the keto. So I try to stick to the low carb, high protein, and water. I've got my big jug of water that I try to do 2 to 3 a day. So it's at least 100 ounces I try to stick to.
That's great. I understand your fear of fat. I understand, because, coming from that era of, we were told not to eat fat for so many years, and all of a sudden fat is good. Yeah, avocado's great. But I like to make a mention also that while you're actively losing weight, I think it's a good idea to stick to a high protein diet and a low carbohydrate diet, or low processed carbohydrate.
Right.
And I like the fact that you're eating carbs. I don't think anybody should demonize carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are vegetables and fruits.
Yep. And fruits have replaced my sugars. Like my candy bars and my Cokes, fruit took the place of that. I am probably a grapeaholic now. I love grapes.
If you love grapes, have you ever tried them rolled in Greek yogurt and frozen?
No.
Give it a try.
Ooh.
Roll it in Greek yogurt.
That will be my snack.
It is. It's like a snack. It's amazing. My husband and I do this with bananas and also with grapes and also with cherries. Yum.
Okay.
Now I'm hungry.
Right.
So diet-wise, you're not keto, you're a high-protein diet. You like your fruits. Do you eat a lot of vegetables?
Yes. I have slacked off this summer, so I'm trying to be better. We do vegetables with dinner almost every night, but I'm really trying to incorporate more salads and like the baby carrots and stuff like that at lunches too.
Do you find it difficult to maintain your weight? Like, you're at your goal right now. Do you find it difficult to maintain, or are you still actively trying to lose?
I had a surgery last summer. I had a hysterectomy, and after that, I gained about between 5 and 8 pounds. So I'm just trying to be better, and then I really love my food and really watched my carbs, and I find water is a huge one. I drop pounds right away.
That's amazing.
So,
That's amazing. I need to do this more myself. As you see here, I'm sipping on a coffee right now.
I had mine this morning too.
I'm using a plastic straw because when I'm doing the podcast, the clink against the glass is not a good idea.
I get you.
I love that you're really focusing on your water intake. I call myself the camel because I can go a lot of hours and not drink water. But so I have to listen more to my own advice, and I like that you're a testimony to if you hit your water goals, your weight loss happens.
Yes, definitely. And I also notice a lot of times when I'm hungry, it's not necessarily hungry. I just need to drink some more water.
Super important. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
So your dedication to your diet is commendable. Your exercise is also commendable. Tell us a little bit about your exercise, because you and I are in a little small online group together. We share our exercise, and I want to hear about exercise coming from the point of view of a PE teacher.
So when I started this, we were in COVID, so school got shut down. I'm a teacher, and school got shut down. So I would take at least an hour a day and get out and walk. And what I found with it was that of course, it helped my body and it helped my physical, but it helped my mental. It really is my mental saving grace. And even now, like if I'm stressed, I'm like, I just got to go. And I just get out and I walk. And any movement is movement. It doesn't have to be the big exercise classes. It doesn't have to be running for miles and miles and miles. It's just getting out and moving your body. It sends off all those endorphins that get you feeling better. And as a PE teacher, I think I've really pushed that with kids too. I just want them to find something they like. You don't have to be a jock. You don't have to be the next Michael Jordan. You just need to find something you like and do it. So that's been a really big one for me. I've found over the years now, I really like kettlebells. So that's a weightlifting thing. And just last year, I really got the opportunity to introduce some of the staff at my school to it too. So we'd have morning yoga and kettlebell clubs. So that was really fun.
So you're really inspiring others to get active. And I'm wondering, as a PE teacher, because you have a unique perspective in exercise, how does exercise look like in schools today? Are parents getting involved in supporting their children's physical activity, or what do you see?
I think they are. I think COVID kind of took a hit on kids and movement because we were all just kind of trapped inside. But I'm seeing more and more kids joining sports again and getting out and playing some more. In Washington State, it's a state requirement for PE. So they have to get 100 minutes a week of PE, which is amazing. I wish it was more. I wish I got to see them every day. But yeah, I think kids are moving more and more. And I think they're finding more things they like with all the different technology and stuff now. There's more than just go run or go join a sport. You can get on why can't I even think, like an Xbox game, and they have actual fitness games where they're doing their love of video games and getting exercise in.
Right, and they can join online groups as well. They can join marathons online, or like walking challenges online, or there's a lot more ways to get active today. Do you see parents getting active with their kids?
I think I do. I try during my lunch hour at work to go for a walk outside, and I see more and more people out and about. So yeah, I do think they are.
What about when you're walking around, and how old are the kids that you're teaching?
I have kindergarten through 5th grade, so 5 or 6 to 11 or
Let's talk
11-ish.
about their lunchbox then. I'm curious to see what you see when you walk around in those school lunches. Is it getting better? Is it staying the same? What do you see?
It depends on the kid. You have a complete mix and mash of everything. You have some that are like amazing. I'm jealous of their lunch. And then you have some that's just fast and junky.
Do you see it improving at all with time? Because we're all more educated today about food.
Yeah, I think so. I think the economy makes it a little bit harder sometimes. And it's just, you have to make that choice then.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I mean, so my kids now are 20 and 22. They're not kids anymore. But, when they were in school, packing a healthy lunch cost a lot less. What kind of suggestions do you have, like as a parent, when you're packing a lunch? What kind of things can you recommend to other parents to keep it healthier?
I just try to really focus on like proteins and the healthy carbs. So like when I pack mine, my daughter loves crackers, so she still gets like a meat and crackers thing, but then we make sure she's got a heavy dose of fruit and like baby carrots or something like that with it too.
Right. And
And they're
generally,
water
yeah.
my kids are water drinkers, so they don't get like a juice or anything like that with it. They're water drinkers.
Oh, that's great. That's a really good
Yeah.
start in life to really like a good glass of water.
Yep.
That's a great advice for other parents too, to try to get your kids liking water at an early age without always throwing the Kool-Aid in there.
Right. Yep. And we were guilty of that when they were younger because it's convenient and easy. But as they've gotten older, they know they just bring their big water bottle full of ice and water and it's there.
So I have a question for you, Missy. Do you wish that you would have started your bariatric journey earlier than you did?
Definitely.
Okay, that's interesting.
Definitely.
Yeah, so you look back on that now and think, I wish I would have had surgery 3 years before.
I do. And things I think about are my kids and things I missed out with my kids. 4 summers ago, we were big campers and we went up to Utah and did all the national parks. And there were hikes I could not do. There was no way, being 280 pounds, I could climb up those cliffs and stuff like that. And it was my kids' favorite national parks trip because we hit all 5 of them, and we're gonna do it next summer. And I'm so excited to like. I couldn't do that one before, now I can.
That's great.
100% wish I would have known about it earlier.
I love watching you online, all of the camping trips that you take, all the places that you go with your family, and how you try to incorporate your healthy lifestyle while you're traveling as well, which is hard.
Yep.
Everybody's eating hot dogs, right?
Right. Yep. Well, and it's really interesting because my daughter's in cross country, and so she's got to keep up with her running just to stay in shape. And I'm like, how are we going to do this when I'm camping? I don't want to send her out by herself in some strange place. So I picked up a bike last week and I rode bike with her, and I don't ride bike. So it's a good like, ooh, here's something new to try.
That's great. Stay active, get your family active, get to try new things. Whereas, 4 years ago, you're looking at a hike thinking, oh, I can't do that. Now you're thinking about ways to incorporate your exercise into your traveling. So I want to really thank you for sharing your story with us today.
Oh, thank you. It's an honor. It's such a great journey to go on.
No, absolutely. Because your story has the power to inspire and empower others on their own bariatric journey. So thank you for being so open, so encouraging. Thank you for being a part of our support group, of always being there and offering insight to other people that are going, through their new steps on this journey.
Always. And if anyone ever needs to reach out, I'm always there.
So thank you to our listeners for joining us on this episode of Bariatric Expert. Stay tuned for more inspiring conversations and empowering stories. If you've enjoyed this episode, you want to stay connected, be sure to subscribe to Bariatric Expert on your favorite podcast platform and download the Bariatric Expert app. Don't forget to share the podcast with others who may find encouragement and valuable insights in these empowering stories. For more resources, expert advice, and uplifting content, be sure to visit our website at www.bariatricfoodexpert.com. Follow us on social media. We're here to support you every step of the way. Thanks again.